Okay, so hi everybody. Very hard to see anybody's faces, so hopefully you're all looking. This is about bare metal to containers to Kubernetes. My name is Benjie Groot, co-founder of Shipyard, ephemeral environments platform. So first there was mainframes, 1940s. Really, they were designed in the 30s. World War II pushed that along. Harvard Mark I was like the first real mainframe. I think it was punch card. This is a 2,000 pound, 5 megabyte hard drive in 1956. Then we get to modern mainframes. That's 360 systems, 3033, the big one, DEC, and the VAX stuff. These are digital for the most part. These are all digital ones, so it's not just punch cards. Then the internet begins, and we have Sun and the big servers. Little reference to hackers, which oh my god is almost 30 years old, hacking the Gibson. And you start having a co-location of data centers. And that means that people are putting servers in places. Okay, while this is happening, a lot of that was Windows. We also have the rise of Linux, 1991, Debian, Red Hat, Slackware. I think we all know what Linux is, but that's really significant for the world that we live in. As that's happening, we also have virtualization starting. VMware 1.0 is 1999. I think we all know what that is, but real quick, app, binaries, guest OS, hypervisor, host OS, server hardware. So they're sharing a bunch of stuff. In 2006, AMD and Intel independently, well, right around that time, add hardware virtualization support so that all that virtualization stuff that's going on is happening, like it's cutting, slicing, and dicing the CPU as like really good. So now all of a sudden we have the clouds starting. Linode, throw out there AWS, Google, all that stuff. They are putting these bare metal servers in there. They're slicing and dicing them with virtualization. And that gets really cool. So now to deploy software in the 90s and 2000s, you have the bare metal thing going on, which we just kind of talked about, where you have a physical server, you plug it in a rack, and that's it. You're an admin of that. I think most people here get that. 2010s, that's when the virtualization stuff, VMware happens, hypervisor. There's other things out there besides VMware, obviously, but just to make it simple, where you're able to slice and dice these servers. You can have multiple applications on one system, but they're sharing a bunch of services. 2006, Google does something really cool. They introduced C groups. There were containers earlier. Sun did it. A bunch of other people did it. Jailboxes, FreeBSD. But they start doing this thing called Borg, which is really creepy, and it's about assimilating stuff. At the same time, .cloud is formed / Docker. I think we all know what that is. And that's leveraging C groups so that, oh, this over here. I can just look right there. So that we can actually do the same thing for all of us. So now all of a sudden, Docker's a big thing. We've got the bare metal, we've got the virtualization. Now we've got these containers, and the guest OS is not shared. Now, don't, be careful with security there, but it's different. So now we have all these containers, but what's keeping them up and running? Who restarts the container? So you got all these scheduling orchestration layers here. So you got the Kubernetes, you got the Mesos, you got I messed up. Helios is what that meant to say. Okay, this is important. Kubernetes wins. We all know that. What this is doing underneath the hood is it's turning on and off these nodes. It's really just a for loop that says, hey, make this YAML file true so that each one of these settings have a thing. Yeah, this is getting fast. Going back to this, what's going back to this other slide here, Kubernetes is the thing that keeps the application running, right? How many replicas, all the other things. That wins out. CNCF is created. It's kind of insane. The community is ridiculous. There's way too many ways to do too many things, but it's really cool. CNCF itself is pretty great, but again, there's a lot of optionality here. And now this is kind of where we are, which is a little bit confusing. But you've got a lot of different really cool tools. Most of them open source, are orchestrating local development, staging, and production. And so that's how we got from mainframes to Kubernetes in a very quick amount of time. I hope some of that made sense. My name's Benjie. Talk to me about whatever you want. Shipyard's cool. Ephemeralenvironments.io is like an open source thing where it's a big thing we're pushing, so you should check that out. I didn't put this on the list. I also am the co-host of a Kubeless podcast, which is pretty popular. Kubernetes podcast. Popular can a Kubernetes podcast be?